Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with two armed thieves, bursting inside the Blue Fleur bank. Hero, a wild-eyed man, asks the clients to put their hands in the air, and get down on the floor. The anxious teller stuffs cash into a bag. Psycho, the trigger-happy one, fires 2 shots at the group. Melancholy women languish in cages at the Rodegay Hotel in Samurai Town. The cherry blossoms gradually fall from the trees. Susie stands on the balcony above, looking pensive. As the bodyguard, Yasujiro, enters, she whistles. Bernice, Stella and Nancy approach quietly, and smile up at her. A woman named Bernice gives her a bracelet of hope, as they travel to their freedom. The 3 women dash down Sweet Peach Street, through the gate, and to a parked automobile. They drive away, ecstatic at the prospect of escaping their cramped lives. Bernice gets flashbacks of ghost-like samurai on her voyage from Samurai Town, while sleeping in Ghost Land. She arouses, astonished to find herself in a foreign environment, and moves towards the door. Bernice steps tentatively into the dystopian wasteland, passing a mannequin positioned at the entryway. Back in Samurai Town, the Kagome with geisha heads visible sings regretfully about trapped birds. Sheriff Takato dusts the bulb in his office, while Deputy Shin tosses darts at a dartboard carried by Matthew, while listening to the jukebox among the wanted posters. Hiro stares up through the gaps in the floorboard in his prison cell, as the guards pace overhead. The governor has arrived, and Sheriff Takato, Matthew, and Deputy Shin have been informed. Hiro's prison cell door is unlocked by Deputy Shin. The mob claps and cries "Governor," as it walks alongside the car, with throngs flanking the street. Deputy Shin leads a manacled Hiro, clothed in a loincloth, out of the prisons. The governor steps out of the car, pats Susie on the head, and raises his hand to silence the crowd. The angry throng heckles and curses Hiro, as he walks along the street. The all-powerful governor, clad entirely in white, refers to Hiro as a phantom, who has slipped past the law's grip more than anyone else. He claims Hiro is to blame for the robbery of the Blue Fleur Bank, and the deaths of several individuals. As Yasujiro delivers him a leather outfit, the governor informs Hiro that his granddaughter, Bernice, has been lost to him. As the governor reminds Hiro that he is the guy to find Bernice and return her to him, Deputy Shin unlocks the manacles. As a street artist doodles, he hands Hiro the leather costume. The hero gracefully removes the loincloth and tosses it into the crowd. The ladies titter, chuckle, and make crude remarks. Susie awakens from her coma, and begins to sing "My Grandfather's Clock" when she hears Bernice's name. As Hiro suits up, the street mob sings along. The governor informs him that there is a place down the roadway where evil prevails. Deputy Shin describes the ghosts in a theatrical manner. The governor gives Hiro an image of his beloved Bernice, claiming that he thinks she has fallen into Ghost Land's wicked lair. Hiro understands why the governor wants her back. A few samurai objected to his remark and approach. Yasujiro fights Hiro and is struck from behind. He turns and dispatches the invaders quickly. The governor advises Hiro not to cross Yasujiro, saying no one has yet been a worthy opponent for Yasujiro. He instructs Hiro to zip up his suit, so he doesn't catch a cold. The hero zips up and locks the suit collar, after a few fake lunges. The explosives on each side of the collar have been detonated. The governor emphasizes the suit's finer aspects. Each arm is outfitted with an explosive device that is linked to a neurosensor. This identifies the desire of a male to strike a vulnerable woman. The bombs will detonate if the alarm is not disregarded. The trousers also have explosives, one at each, which should dissuade him from having indecent thoughts. The governor expresses his desire for Bernice to be returned unsoiled. He claims that interfering with the suit in any manner will result in the detonation of all the explosives. Hiro will be allowed his freedom if he can rescue Bernice and return her to him unharmed. Susie has yet another tantrum, telling Hiro not to return Bernice to the governor. She points a toy robot at the audience, making shooting sounds while cackling maniacally. Sheriff Takato and Deputy Shin returned her to the automobile. The governor explains that each bulb on Hiro's wrist gadget symbolizes 24 hours. Bernice must talk into the microphone on the spectrogram, set to identify her voice at the end of 3 days. Hiro will have 2 extra days to return with her, and have his suit unlocked once voice print recognition is achieved. If he fails, the explosives will detonate at the same time. The governor wears a chain around his neck, with the single key that unlocks the suit. The hero approaches the car, starts it, drives a short distance, and then abandons the car in favor of a bicycle. He bikes away as everyone looks on in disbelief, one man exclaiming, "So cool." Yasujiro drives the car to him, handing up the keys, and they exchange transportation. He doesn't have enough time to save Bernice and return on his bicycle. The hero rushes along the highway, and as darkness falls, he enters Ghostland's Area 244. He is stopped by samurai ghosts, and dazzled by the lights as he drives straight at them. The next morning, he is found comatose next to his automobile, among other car wrecks. As a crowd approaches him, the hero regains consciousness on a cart being pulled down the street. Hero looks up to see Nancy on a cart next to him. She inquires about Stella's fate. A strange welcoming committee clothed in plastic and rags sings and dances in the street, as the carts are hauled through the surreal dystopian hellscape. Men are commanded to try to stop time by tugging ropes linked to the clock hands, to keep them from moving. A woman claims that the heavy crimson blood on Hero's face is a sign that time will move again. One day, the water will be clear and the air will be clean. Enoch, the tribe's leader, enters, and tells Hero that he should be grateful that Ratman and his clan found him and brought him to Ghostland. Hero tells Enoch he is nobody, just a guy looking for a girl, and offers him Bernice's photos. Nancy exclaims that Bernice is with her. Stella had departed, but Bernice refused to return. Bernice, according to a man in the throng, is hiding behind a mannequin. The hero approaches them, and one by one, removes their cracked masks. After removing her wig and a part of her mask, he recognizes Bernice's eye from the photos. When Bernice fails to answer Hero, Enoch declares that the power of speech has been taken away from them all, since they lack a voice, hope and courage. Hero yells at Bernice and grabs her arm, triggering the alarm system, which warns him to calm down. He shows her a photo of her friends, and tells her that they need to go home, and that she will be singing karaoke in no time. Hero drives a cart with an immobile Bernice to Ratman, who is working on his truck. Ratman hands him a can of gas and returns to his car. He returns to his car and fills the tank. Bernice's turn to speak into the microphone has arrived. As she lies on the trolley, she remains silent. Hero grabs her by the throat, setting off the alarm once more. He backs down, assuring her that he would get her home by the next night. He cuts the mannequin parts off her body. He wonders if she received the scar on her thigh from roller skating. Bernice wraps her arm around his neck, and Hero hands her a glass of water. The alarm goes off when it detects his filthy thoughts. His testicule is blown off when the explosion detonates. She observes him dispassionately, as he yells and canters about in a circle, before collapsing. He remembers walking down Sweet Peach Street with Psycho while unconscious. They took their pistols from their jackets, and headed towards the Blue Fleur Bank, while the townsfolk stood there silently watching. He recalls that Psycho was behind the shootings. The gumball machine shattered, sending gumballs flying over the floor. After asking Psycho if he had taken his medication, he attacked him. They get into a fight and end up back on the street. When the cops arrive, he raises his hands in the air. Hero begs Psycho to drop it, as he reaches for his revolver. Psycho opens fire on the cops, who then shoot him. When the cops catch him, Psycho yells at Hero that he was a coward and a traitor. The governor massages the head of an injured girl from the firefight, who Hero identifies as a young Bernice. Later, he adopts her. Hero regains consciousness and limps towards Bernice, who is awake and still lying on the cart. They hear a disturbance and are surrounded by zombies. To save Bernice, the hero pulls her away from him, setting off the alarm. The bomb on his right arm explodes, killing the undead. Before collapsing, he sees the scarred man seated in the abandoned bus through the fog. The prophets and the clock tower tell the story of Ghostland's past. The property was powered by a large nuclear reactor, located near the clock tower. The poisonous waste that resulted was covertly stored beneath it. At mile 244, a truck carrying hot nuclear sludge lost control on the roadway, and collided with a prison transport carrying guilty men. The resulting explosion set fire to the city, and the pollutants poisoned the environment. The hero wonders why no one has assisted them. They tell him they asked the strong guys in the toxic towers for assistance, but they denied knowing anything about it. The gang informs him that he is their hero, since he discovered Bernice and gave her a second chance. Bernice stirs at the accident scene when she hears the governor's voice, instructing her to recite her name through the microphone on the unconscious hero's wrist. She eventually finds her voice and cries, "I'm Bernice." Although the governor is surrounded by giggling, adoring women in Samurai Town, he invites Susie to join him, and she declines. Susie, horrified, cries for them to stop, as Deputy Shin tosses money at the wailing women. The governor has her say tick-tock, tick-tock. Bernice is still missing, despite the passage of time. Sheriff Takato yells that the traitor has returned, and they walk out to find Stella has been apprehended. Stella smiles as the governor blames her for Bernice's decision to depart. Yasujiro is summoned. As he executes her, he places a crimson rose on her shoulder, and the audience begins to shout tick-tock. As Bernice returns to Ghostland, Enoch preaches. She claims the zombies appeared out of nowhere, to which Enoch responds, "No one escapes the ghost land." The sight of Hero astounds Ratman and his clan. A female rushes to ring the bell, signaling his return. Bernice approaches Hero, as the audience applauds. Hero claims he saw the anguish of all the souls in Ghost Land, as well as the individuals he had wounded while in a semi-conscious condition. These souls assisted him, and he is now radioactive, which means he has a second chance at life, and is enlightened. A samurai wanders down Sweet Peach Street, pondering which of the women he should choose. One of the women summons her brother, Yasujiro, who leaps from the balcony, and confronts the men below. He quickly dispatches all the would-be samurais, and his sister claims that she knows he only works for the governor, because he lied to Yasujiro, claiming that he would set her free. She begs him to resign from his job. Back in Ghost Land, Hero informs the Ghostlanders that they will be departing tomorrow. Enoch claims that it is impossible, since no one can ever escape. The hero inquires of Ratman what it will take to start all the cars and escape Ghost Land. The community comes together and works together. The next day, Hero and Bernice set out from Ghost Land, followed by the oppressed people. The guards of Ghost Land confront them. Psycho, the hero's erstwhile partner in crime, is recognized by the hero as the leader. He runs up to his pal and says, "You're dead." He remembers what the prophets said about the nuclear waste disaster. Psycho informs him that he, like everyone else, was roasted in nuclear hell. Hero requests that Psycho allow him to assist the ghosts that approached him, and asked for his assistance. The governor, according to Psycho, is the true predator. He orders Hero to return Bernice safely, and to assassinate the governor, as it is time for them all to be free. Hero thanks him, and Psycho returns to the bus. This causes the nuclear towers to explode. As they watch, Hero and Bernice, as well as the villagers, remain uninjured. Back in Samurai Town, the governor reminds the audience on the street of his enormous importance, claiming that at his command, birds will fall from the sky, and lions and tigers will bend before him. He greets them and invites them to his animal farm. As Bernice and Hero approach, Deputy Shin points down the street. As they approach, Sheriff Takata whistles, and the men encircle them. The governor approaches Bernice and embraces her. The governor refuses to give the hero the key to open his suit. The hero seizes Bernice, and holds a knife to her throat, posing as a hostage. The alarm goes off, and she urges the governor to hand over the key. Susie, who is now completely mad, snaps and dashes to the minigun. She opens fire, killing the majority of the bodyguards, before being wounded. Bernice and Hero are being pursued, and Bernice has been injured. The hero charges forward and defeats the remaining men, with balletic karate and gunfire. Bernice drags Susie on a cart down the street, reversing when she is approached by a bunch of swordsmen. Yasujiro advances, blocking her passage, and draws his sword. As she flees, he walks past her and attacks the men behind her. Bernice informs Susie that she will return, and that she is no longer a prisoner. Bernice engages in a sword duel with two men, demonstrating some fairly remarkable techniques. Yasujiro fights Hero and kicks him in the remaining testicle. Both guys are damaged and fatigued, so the combat comes to a halt. When the action resumes, Hero assassinates Yasujiro in the midst of the cherry blossoms. An injured Susie crawls down the street, as the governor follows her. She calls Bernice, who orders him at gunpoint to get away from Susie. The governor berates and verbally abuses Bernice for the last time. She shoots him repeatedly, saying, "That's for all the sweet peaches." Hero arrives, picks up the key, and unlocks his suit, which deactivates. A child from Samurai Town rushes to Ghost Land, to inform them that the governor has died. The clock hands advance once more, and the clock tower bursts at midnight. Hero, Bernice and Susie sit in Samurai Village, watching, as the village comes to life. Hero comes across an artificial blue butterfly, which used to represent death, but can now represent freedom. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.